Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Brother Demon HD here today. In today's video, Dying Light the Beast feels like the sequel that fans deserved. And that's saying a lot considering the fact that Dying Light 2 was technically the original sequel for the game. It still is, but there were a whole lot of things in Dying Light 2 that the community did not like, and I'd never decided to pick up and play the game, especially with the stamina system being completely changed, the nighttime being a little bit brighter than what it was in Dying Light 1, even though I do not like the nighttime in Dying Light, but it's a core mechanic of the game, and Techland decided to change some of the core features that made Dying Light so unique, besides being a parkour first-person bashing zombie game, says a lot. And Dying Light the Beast really fixes a lot of those core issues, as well as adding some new features to the game to make it feel, to stand out from Dying Light 2 and Dying Light respectfully. Even though Dying Light the Beast was supposed to be a DLC for Dying Light 2, Techland decided to release the game as a full standalone. Do I agree that the game should have been $60? No, not really. Maybe around $40, give or take, respectfully. But if you actually do a majority of the side quests as well as the main story, you can get your money's worth out of it. And besides, I'm doing a second playthrough on the immersive mode, so that's going to be another 20 to 30 hours on top of that. But the mechanics feel great. The gameplay feels good. The guns feel like they are more of an optional type of thing compared to what they've been all. Let me rephrase that. They've always been more of a situational type weapon of choice, right? Because of the fact that ammo is very scarce and very limited, it kind of forces you to, use your rifle, use your sidearm, or use a shotgun, for crying out loud, which are really powerful in this game. They're more of like one of those situational type of weapons of choice, I should say. Especially if you are going up against a majority of the human enemy types, which is the Baron's men. That's when I believe it is more situational to use those weapons respectfully. Or if you just want to pull out the gun, just, pop a couple of zombie heads, you're welcome to do that as well. But in my opinion, I believe the firearms in Dying Light the Beast are more of a situational type of thing, I should say. And the story, what do I think of the story? The story was a good one, even though it's your typical revenge story. The main character, Kyle Crane, gets captured by the Baron, and he's pissed, and he wants revenge, typical point A to point B revenge plot type story, right? Really nothing too crazy or unique there. But at the same time, the characters throughout Dying Light really differentiate from one another, especially if you're doing the main quest, some side quests here and there. And each character really feels like they fit in the world in some way. Like, for instance, the sheriff. Her goal is to keep her people safe, protect them, right? That's her main goal. Eventually, down the storyline, you end up finding she does some really crazy messed up shit to you, and you basically don't trust her after that. And there is a group of, like, I guess I can call them like mutants / metahumans of some sort that were technically lab rats experiments of the Baron. And that faction, at first, the leader of the group, does not really like you because technically you're an outsider and she really don't trust you. She kind of has trust issues, but as the story progresses, she does warm up to Kyle, and eventually they end up becoming allies in the end. And the game is just a good one. It's really great. The graphics are nice. The attention to detail is very great as well when you are literally bashing in zombies left and right with the machete or with a giant hammer or even a little pocket knife, for crying out loud. There's even some really cool death animations for the zombie types, especially some nice finishers for those elites that you did end up seeing at the beginning of the video with the volatile. And it's a great thing. It's a good thing to see that Techland decided to listen to their fans, listen to their community, and change a lot of the things that fans did not like about Dying Light 2. And I did not pick up Dying Light 2 because of the fact that they changed a lot of the core elements that made Dying Light so unique in their own way. You know, like I said, for instance, the nighttime didn't feel the same in Dying Light 2. The stamina system was a weird change, which I don't know why they decided to do that. But the Baron himself, I probably mentioned the Baron in the video, but I really never touched on him a whole lot. But he's basically the main villain of this game. He's basically the bad guy that Kyle Crane has to face, has to fight, because this man technically has his own private military, his own, little private militia of some sort. And he's just basically the dictator of Castor. What is it? Castor Woods, I think it is. That's just called Castor Woods, I believe, is what the location is called in this game. And you're just trying to build up allies, trying to build trust, and pretty much fight against the Baron, because everybody has been affected by the Baron in one way or another. Like, for instance, the metahumans that I did mention, they were experimented on. They were basically tortured and killed and beaten to death in order to make some kind of weird, super weapon later down the road. The people in the town hall, for instance, the sheriff and their people, they've been dealing with the Baron for years. They're scared of the Baron. They're afraid of him. They're afraid of what he's capable of doing. And there are some instances where the Baron does a lot of crazy shit to pretty much torment these poor individuals that don't want anything to do with him. But eventually, everybody that Kyle has helped out through the story, through their journey, pretty much realized that, this shit's not going to stop. This shit's not going to end. And the only way it's going to end if we put the Baron down like the dog he is. And the story starts getting better like near the very end, in my opinion. It really does, especially the Last Supper mission. In my opinion, I believe this is one of the best missions that I have played. One of the basically final missions of a game that I have technically played for a zombie game. And it's a good one. It's a very lengthy mission, doing a whole lot of things, pretty much going in the nighttime, as you see, eventually transitioning to day, going after the man that started it all, the man that tortured you for so many years, which I mean is Kyle Crane in this situation. And you finally get a crack at him. You finally get a shot at this man. And at the end, you finally, and I swear it's the most satisfying kill in the game, you finally put him down, taking him off a freaking cliff and pretty much impaling him to a rock. And that's pretty much the end of the Baron, which he pretty much mutates himself into a giant volatile super freak, which is technically the final boss fight of the game, which is a really nice boss fight in my opinion, I should say. But everybody remembers the GRE, right? The people that Kyle Crane was sent to do, technically was the lapdog of the GRE, to go into Haran and pretty much grab a file from a villain named Rise. And they're back. And they're not done with Kyle. They're not done with him just yet. They are so much more bullshit that they're probably going to put Kyle through, as well as Aiden returning from Dying Light 2. They joined forces. And let me tell you, when I saw Aiden, I thought he was Bucky from Captain America. I'm not joking. I thought the guy was literally Bucky. That is not a joke. But knowing that Kyle and Aiden basically have a common enemy, which is the GRE, as well as Lydia and her telekinetic people, I should say. They all have a common enemy. The GRE is a group that's real shady. It still is a very shady corporation slash company within the world of Dying Light. And the fact that the GRE comes near the very end, taunting Kyle, saying, "We're not done with you yet, Kyle. We have so much more for you, and we have so much more in store for you," as pretty much foreshadowing that Dying Light the Beast is not the end of Kyle's story, is not the end of Aiden's story. It is only the beginning from here. What will Techland have in store for us in the future? For the future installments of Dying Light, I have no clue. I have no idea what Techland has in store for the future of Dying Light. And that's saying a lot, considering the fact that I enjoy this franchise. I enjoyed Dying Light 1, really never dabbled into Dying Light 2, and finishing up the Dying Light the Beast recently and going through my second playthrough. It has me hyped. It has me excited for the future of Dying Light. And I just want to hear your comments down in the comment section down below. What have you thought about Dying Light the Beast so far? You think the game is good? You think the game could use some more improvements? And what do you think of the story? What do you think of Kyle's journey? What do you think of the Baron being the man that pretty much tortured Kyle for so many years, to where it pretty much sends him on this revenge spree? But it's been your boy, Brotherhood Gaming HD, everybody, and if you are new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the bell notifications, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out, and goodbye, everybody.